Welcome, everybody. I want to welcome everyone, including any prospective graduate students that we have joined with us today. This is our 7th year to host the 3MT 3-Minute Thesis Competition. 3MT is a research communication competition that was initiated at the University of Queensland in Australia in 2008. Since that time, it has grown internationally, and 3MT competitions are now held in over 900 universities across more than 85 countries worldwide. Graduate students are challenged to present their master's or doctoral research in just 3 minutes in a language that's appropriate to a non-specialist audience. The idea for 3MT came about at a time when the state of Queensland was suffering severe drought. To conserve water, residents were encouraged to time their showers, and many people set up 3-minute timers in their bathrooms and fixed them to the wall. The then dean of the graduate school, emeritus Professor Alan Lawson, put 2 and 2 together, probably while sitting in the shower. I think that's where everyone's best thinking usually occurs. And the idea for the 3MT competition was born. For our students, this is a great opportunity to hone skills for effective presentation. And for OU, this is an excellent opportunity to showcase graduate education, both the quality of these presentations and the impact of the work that graduate students are doing. These presentations are often outstanding, and they provide students stories that can help us to explain graduate education and the importance of graduate education to policymakers and the general public. Historically, we've had about 40 to 50 entries in the preliminary competition rounds. I think we had 41 this year. And the top 10 presenters are selected as finalists. In addition, we will sponsor the winner to represent OU at the Midwestern Association of Graduate Schools, or MAGS, regional competition, which this year is in Chicago, Illinois, and will be held in March. 2 years ago, our winner went on to win the MAGS competition and then presented their 3-minute thesis for a national audience at the Council of Graduate Schools national meeting. I'd like you, after this event, to join us for a reception. We'll be holding this in Baird Lounge immediately afterwards. And after about 30 minutes, with the judges have time to confer, we'll announce the winners. Before I announce the MC for today, I also wanted to take a moment to make a plug for the Grad CERU survey, which went live in what we'll call a soft launch, but it's basically live today. The Grad CERU survey is a comprehensive survey that we're administering to all Norman current graduate students based on the Norman campus, but also in Tulsa and OU Online. The Graduate College is using the results from the Grad CERU survey to enhance program offerings, improve student services, and strengthen graduate education OU, while ensuring that we continue to support all students. We want to know what's working well and not so well, both inside and outside of the classroom. So this is your opportunity, if you're a current graduate student at OU, to be completely frank about your graduate program. I assure you the results are anonymous. I won't even know the names of who's filling out the survey. And I also assure you that we are listening. We're doing this survey every 2 years, and we have used the results from the past time that we did this in 2021, to make a number of changes across campus, improve services, and do things to improve graduate education. So I assure you we're taking this very seriously and really want to hear from you. You'll see on the way out there are some cards on the table that have a QR code to the website with the survey, and it's at ou.edu/gradceru. So thanks for letting me go off topic a little bit and make that little plug. I now want to introduce our MC, Dr. Gregory Burge. Dr. Burge is currently a professor of economics and chair of the economics department at OU. His dissertation investigating the effects of development impact fee programs on housing affordability was awarded the DeVoe Moore Dissertation Fellowship, the Lincoln Institute Dissertation Fellowship, and a doctoral dissertation fellowship from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. After earning his PhD from Florida State University, Dr. Burge has served at the University of Oklahoma for the past 17 years. His areas of interest center on public policy, urban economics, housing economics, and labor economics. He has over 25 publications in outlets including the Journal of Urban Economics, the Journal of Regional Science, the Journal of Labor Economics, Journal of American Planning Association, and Real Estate Economics. He serves on the editorial board of the journal Contemporary Economic Policy and has reviewed over 200 submissions from more than 60 professional journals. At OU, he has served on 28 different doctoral committees, including 5 as chair and 5 as outside member. He was awarded OU's General Education Teaching Award in 2018 and the Holden Faculty Award from the Dodge Family College of Arts and Sciences in 2020. In 2018 and 2019, he was OU's nominee for the Oklahoma Medal of Excellence in Teaching. And in 2018, the OU Grad College selected him for what we call a Grady Award, which is what we award to a faculty member and a staff member each year for outstanding service, in this case as the department's director of graduate studies. So please join me in giving a very warm welcome to our MC this afternoon, Dr. Greg Burge.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Randy. That was a very warm and kind welcome, and I had put the part about the Grady at the end because it's one of the ones I'm most proud of because it has to do with graduate student mentoring, and I think that's such a critical element of what we do at OU and really central to the mission of a research university. Before we begin, I also wanted to just take a moment to thank the Graduate College. We're here because of the Graduate College and Dean Hughes and all of the efforts that have gone into putting this together. So if you could just take a moment, this program was started from scratch by Dean Hughes. This being the 7th iteration of this wonderful event is really a celebration of his vision. So if you could just take a moment and a big round of applause for Dean Randy Hughes. As you know, this is an event where we're focusing on the presenters. One of the things that goes along with that is we would want to make sure that our cell phones are silent. So just like I tell my students, if you could please silence your phones. The airplane mode works particularly well. Also, if you would like to take photos, I think that's encouraged, but no flash photography. Believe me, these lights up here are bright enough. That's enough distraction for the presenters. We don't need more. The goal of the 3MT competition, as you know, is for students to present their research in a clear and concise manner, using only 3 minutes or less, and augmented with just one static slide only, as the only prop that they're allowed to use. As Dean Hughes mentioned, we have 41 master's and doctoral students from the OU Norman campus that entered this year's competition, and we have already reached a point where we are down to just the top 10. So if you're a big sports fan like I am, if this were the equivalency of March Madness, we would already be at the Sweet 16. So it's kind of exciting. So there's really high quality research that we're going to benefit from seeing today. It's really an exciting day. These 10 finalists are competing for prizes. Yes, love it. So literally thousands of dollars are on the line. First place is taking the grand prize of $2,000. It's really exciting. Woo-hoo is right. Yeah, we can get woo. Feel free to woo anytime you want. Just go for it. The runner-up is going to receive $1,500. That was even bigger than the woo. Yeah. You guys know how money works, right? More is better, right? No, I'm just kidding. And then I think possibly most importantly, this is always a favorite. So the People's Choice Award, the one that really taps into y'all's hearts and support your friends, support the departments that you're here to represent. The People's Choice Award is a $1,000 award, and so I will certainly be circling back to this at the end, but do fill out the forms selecting the one that you thought gave the best presentation, and those are all going to be compiled, and that determines another $1,000 winner. The Graduate College will send the first place winner to compete nationally in the 3MT competition at the Midwestern Association of Graduate Schools in Chicago, Illinois, coming up this March 29th. So the best from OU gets to go on and compete, and I think represents us quite well, and we've done very well in that over the years. So this is a really exciting process. So a little bit of instructions about how kind of the flow is going to go. You as the audience members have a very important role, okay? So you're going to need to be with me on this, right? You guys got to know when to clap and when to be quiet and all of that. We ready? All right, so I like the enthusiasm there in the back. You got it. Yeah, you're hanging hard with me. I appreciate that. Okay. So what we're going to do is, I think the first part of today's activities, I'm going to talk a little bit about our judges. The judges play a tremendously important role. When I maybe call the judges, if we could have a quick round of applause for each judge, then I'll tell you a little bit about the judge, and we can have maybe another quick round of applause at that point. Later on, when we get to the presenters, we'll kind of follow a similar pattern. So we can have a round of applause when they're introduced, and then that can kind of quickly transition into their presentation itself. And then at the end, you can go crazy. There's really less constraints on the end of it, right? That's when that's the woos part, right? Yeah, okay, excellent. I think another important thing to mention is just the reception afterwards. Dean Hughes mentioned it, but we would love to see you all there. Please come. There's food, drinks, non-alcoholic drinks, right? Alcohol. Should have told me that before. You wouldn't have had the hard time getting an MC that you had if everybody would have known that. Okay, so reception afterwards, and please do come. It's at the Baird Lounge just down the hall, and it starts. The award presentation ceremony for the winners is going to run at 3 p.m. Okay. So without further ado, we're going to kind of begin the formality of today's activities. I'm going to introduce the judges. This is an incredibly important role. Thank you to all the judges collectively. I've really enjoyed my experiences judging this event in the past. It's a critical role. So if you could, as I call each name, if you could give a quick round of applause, and then I'll read the bio as the person stands, and then we can kind of give another round of applause. So the first one is Dr. Cecil Lewis. Cecil, could I get? Yes. So Dr. Cecil Lewis is a professor in the Department of Anthropology, and he's the founding director of the Laboratories of Molecular Anthropology and Microbiome Research. Dr. Lewis's research and professional activities focus on ancient biomolecules and the human microbiome. So one more time, big round of applause for Professor Cecil Lewis. Thank you, Cecil. The next judge is Dr. Sapita Razavi. Big round of applause, Sapita Razavi. Yeah. Dr. Razavi is an assistant professor in the Department of Chemical, Biological, and Materials Engineering. She joined OU in 2018 and is the principal investigator of the Colloid and Interface Science Lab here at OU. Dr. Razavi is a recipient of the ACS PFR Doctoral New Investigator Award in 2020, and quite impressively, the NSF Career Award in 2022. Her research, woo, that is a woo. I think that's a big woo, right? Yeah. Her research efforts are focused on understanding and engineering the behavior of complex solutions composed of fluids, ions, surfactant molecules, and nanoparticles, especially near surfaces and interfaces, to address the basic research needs faced by the energy, environment, and sustainability sectors. So let's give a big round of applause once more, Dr. Sapita Razavi. All right, excellent. That's a really good example of one that's way over my head, so kudos to you. Next, we have joining us as the third panelist judge, Professor Ann West. Dr. West is the Gracie B. Kerr Centennial Chair in the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry, and is the Associate Vice President for Research and Partnerships. She is also Director of the NIH-funded Center of Biomedical Research Excellence in Structural Biology. Dr. West's research focuses on microbial responses to environmental changes and structure-function studies of signal transduction proteins. Again, please welcome Dr. Ann West. Thank you for being with us, Ann. Thank you. All right. You guys are doing a great job, by the way. Don't lose steam as we go. Okay, I know that's a natural tendency, but you want to... Okay, excellent. All right. The next judge joining us is, if you could please give a big round of applause to Deepak Devagowda. Deepak, thank you. All right. Who is, by the way, a phenomenal judge, because we did this together a few years back, I remember, yeah. Dr. Deva Gowda is professor and Melbourne Chair of Petroleum Engineering. His current research is focused on defining quantifiable limits on hydrogen and carbon dioxide storage in the subsurface. His research interests also include unconventional reservoir modeling and enhanced oil recovery, as well as subsurface applications of machine learning. So once again, if you could join me in a big round of applause for Dr. Deva Gowda. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here again. How are you up to? You 3. That may be, is that a record? Get that man an award. Okay, this is a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work. Okay. And last but certainly not least, if you could join me in welcoming our 5th judge, Professor Rilla Askew. Professor Askew is an associate professor teaching creative writing in the Department of English. She's an award-winning novelist, essayist, and 3-time recipient of the Oklahoma Book Award. That feels like a woo to me, too. 3 times. Yeah, that's a woo. Professor Askew's research and professional activities are grounded in 2 areas. The first is regional studies, including 4 novels and numerous essays focused on Oklahoma's complex history, such as her seminal novel about the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre, Fire in Beulah. Her second area of scholarship is in early modern women's and religious studies, which includes her novel about the English writer and martyr Anne Askew, Prize for the Fire, recently published by the University of Oklahoma Press. Please again join me in welcoming Professor Rilla Askew. All right. All right, it's time. This is the big moment. What we're going to be doing is sequentially, one at a time, we're going to have the 10 finalists present their research. So again, just to kind of reiterate, each presenter will be announced. I'll mention their department, their presentation title, as well as their name, and then we can have a quick but vigorous round of applause. And then we're going to have each of the candidates come up, collect themselves. There's a bit of tech work in making sure you get the right slide and the timing and all that kind of stuff. And once everything is all set up, each of the presenters will have 3 minutes, and no more than 3 minutes. That's very important. I've been a judge, so I know for sure that's an important thing. So each of the presenters do understand that the 3 minutes is a hard limit. As they finish, we can give another big welcome round of applause, thanking them for their presentation, and we can go into the transition. Following each presenter's time, we're going to have the judges take a few minutes. The sheet says 3 to 5 minutes for each presenter. I would note that if we take the full 5 minutes for each one, we're going to go long, so maybe we can try to nudge that down to 2. Forget 3 to 5. We changed that to 2. And then we'll, sort of go on to the next presenter.